I think a lot of, especially lower ranked players, have problems with wasps. Not in the sense that the wasps are too good against them. I think they just overreact and think, I need to get Mustangs now. Speaking of overreacting against air, oh no, that was not the game that I got Fortress AA early on, apparently. I do go for the MP again. My opponent does have the Overlord here now, and he does have photon emission like anyone who has halfway decently used his stuff. I do go for the hackers. My opponent has a decent amount of steel balls. He even has them teched. He also has these fire badges. I have good shaft clear in my Arclights, at the start at least of the fight. So honestly, it's not looking all that bad, I think. The opponent once again drops a missile. I'm basically sucking my opponent's eco dry with missiles. At this point, you could have just put an Arclight back there or something like that. But now my opponent has double Mustangs with area specialization. I, however, did also invest into my Wasps and gave them area specialization, so that they can hopefully deal with the Phoenixes better. Range, finally, on both the Hackers and the Carriarchs. Alright, and this should split up and divert my opponent's forces. You can see the Overlord already turning around, going after not the sledges here, at least not immediately. I guess now there are some crawlers on the field, directly in front. The Hackers are doing a good job hacking these fire badgers. And the Carriarchs are doing a good job killing everything else. The fire badger did, I think, deal a bit with the opponent's Mustangs here, ever so slightly. Now I have no more anti-air here, and I have no more anti-air here, which means this one goes to my opponent as well. And this time it's actual amounts of damage. Like before it was chip damage. Remember that we were on round 6 before, and none of us had lost any significant amount of health so far. Portable shield, missile strike, even mobile beacon, and steel ball production for my opponent could be thought about. He skips, I take the missile because honestly the missile is just good. These fangs should be pulling the Mustangs in. And once they stop, because these fangs will die pretty quickly, they will move forward, hopefully still stay in radius of the missile, and get destroyed. That is the main idea. I choose to solve the air issue finally with something more reliable. Anti-air on the Arclights. They have been consistently surviving and simply being killed by the Phoenixes. And on round 7 I can actually afford this kind of stuff. I also sold one of these Wasp packs. Now he's sitting pretty useless on area specialization on these Mustangs. And even like everything else on this board screams basically, don't go Mustang. With the exception of the Hackers and this pack of Wasps. Everything else, these Mustangs are pretty terrible about. I once again try to pull my opponent's forces with a mobile beacon here. And just drop additional Arclights at this point. Now I need to position them. Yep, I do. And now I have a lot of anti-air all of a sudden. A bunch of stuff got taken out. Even the Phoenixes did take a decent amount of damage. I did put a level in these Wasps, but I do just want to sell them. Might as well get whatever you can out of them while you have them. Also, they are not countered here. So, because the Mustangs got taken out, these Wasps are actually not all that bad. I mean, one Mustang survived. Okay, for one moment I thought that health was the tower, but it's not. Phoenixes get taken out by the carry Arclights, and the Overlord is not faring any better. I do hack the Stormcaller here, hack another Stormcaller. Misses shouldn't be doing much. Okay, I guess they are still enough. With the remaining units being taken out, it's a round for me, and quite a good one actually. The fact that high level units here, level 3 fire badgers and stormcrawlers and level 2 tanks, not to mention an overlord, has fallen, means that I can level the Arclights. There's a bunch of stuff here. Anti-interference is kind of unlucky for me because I have hackers and my opponent now can choose a unit to hard counter them. But I guess everything that isn't being hacked can be carry Arclighted. And I guess everything that can be hacked can also be carry Arclighted at this point, because these Arclights are hitting level 5. Some of them. Bunch of level 4s and a level 5. This thing is definitely no joke. I do now decide to hopefully pull some of my opponent's forces a bit here. Throwing some crawlers into the flank instead of more Arclights. My opponent goes for Photon, probably to simply support his units and have them survive for longer. Also, this will counter my electromagnetic blast. Once again, crawler trick here, more or less. Crawler hopefully distract operation, that I think is a better term for it. I do go for temp range, got another upgrade of the tower, and I think I just set on the rest of the money. Not really worth investing all that much. These crawlers being pulled apart is actually not bad. My opponent is just dropping a load of missiles here. Oh no, some of them were mine apparently. These flanks are definitely bad for my opponent because they're keeping a lot of units out of the fight. This Overlord here is level 3, has about 70,000 health, but these Arclights are doing over 4,000 and 6,000 per shot. They are just shredding everything at this point. The Sledgehammers level 3 are tanking. I think that's my opponent's Sledgehammers, are they not? And I do end up taking another round, and it's getting real tight for my opponent now. Barrier comes out. If you're trying to go into Giants, that's an easy 60,000 health to add. I go for Deployment Specialist because we're hitting the stage where that is pretty good. Especially if you're playing a deployment-intensive strategy such as carry Arclights. I can level them a bunch. My opponent is dropping missiles like there's no tomorrow. He knows he needs all of his units in the fight if he wants to stand a chance. Both EMP and Orbital are off cooldown. And interestingly enough, EMP can help break the shields and then Orbital can break through. On the other hand, also I have oil here. So that should also be good. I think the EMP range, at least the smaller EMP, is not enough to cover both or to touch both of these bubbles. I do level the Arclights and they are now fully teched. This I think is the scariest one. Level 6 Arclight, 10,800 damage per shot almost at 163 meters of range. And I do go and throw some exploding rhinos in the face of my opponent simply to finish the fight, hopefully. The idea is that they just take these steel balls out. They have linked health, by the way. So they have this steel ball here. Now let's look at the... Wasn't there a level 3 pack of steel balls? I guess... Oh yeah, here. They have almost 42,000 health. They are a giant worth of health here. Missiles connect and hit most stuff, but not all stuff. There are some more crawlers back here that I distracted. Fire ignited by my opponents or my fire badgers, I'm not entirely sure. Hackers trying to buy whatever time they can, and apparently they can still hack individual units. Steel balls do get taken out, but towers fall at the same time. However, there isn't really anything happening here other than the Stormcrawlers, I guess. And I can take out Stormcrawlers even under tower debuffs. This side got rolled, that much is true. But I still have a very healthy carry Arclight quantity here. And they are max teched. Steel balls moving in, but being hacked. The hacker definitely coming in clutch. And with all of that, it is just game over. So I think this is the first time that I defended aggro with carry Arclights. Interesting. Very interesting. The linked health on the steel balls did add a lot of health value. But realistically, I think in the worst of worst cases, if my Arclights couldn't counter that, I could always go for some EMP, or I could also go just get my own steel balls or even melting point against the overlords and have that thing completely break the steel balls apart. It was kind of a last-ditch effort by my opponent, and it didn't work out as well as he had hoped because I think the reason is the carry Arclights and the hackers just had too high of a level. What do you even attack this with? The crawlers here won't do much. Even if you put a lot of overlords there, I think eventually the Ace Arclights are just going to slaughter them. Honestly, I think the steel balls were the wrong choice, but then again, I am not my opponent. But I do thank you for watching and listening to me playing against Oliver and Seth here. And yeah, maybe we will meet once more on the ladder. For now, to everybody watching and listening, ladies and gentlemen, I do wish you an amazing evening. I think I have one more game to cast, although I'm getting pretty tired. Yeah, one more game to cast. And that one was a really good one. I hope you will watch this one as well, but if you don't want to, just don't. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. Until next time.